Hello Katie, mynaturalhappiness.com, creator of the Seeds of Change program. I hope you're well and I hope you've had the most amazing week, and I hope that those who saw the video last week and it was for heard what I said. So it was very passionate. Oops. But no, it needed to be said. So some hump day happiness and truth bombs for you coming your way. So I was thinking about back in the corporate environment and the people and where I was and what I noticed there. And that sadly I still see with some of my clients when they first start working with me. And it's so wonderful to be able to help them move from habitual to happiness with natural stress management tools and techniques, and to help them achieve their dreams, wishes and goals. It's just the most amazing job in the entire world. And when people first come to me, they're not necessarily happy. In fact, they're often really so utterly tired and exhausted and looking for a different way that they are just really struggling. So yeah, not always, but a lot of the time. So yeah, it's interesting. I say not all the time because recently I've had a spate of people that have wanted to come and work with me to leave the corporate environment and to set up their own businesses, and they've asked for help to do that. So I've actually ended up creating a Seeds to Change personal, Seeds to Change business to help people achieve their business dreams. And they're just so happy and alive with possibilities, and to know that they're doing something about it, and to know that they've got amazing guidance, and that I'm giving them everything. I'm giving them everything to set up a business, which is just amazing. Learning from the mistakes that I made. Because I did, and helping them to, not make them. So they're not so tired and exhausted and fed up, because they have just gone, a different life, and they're creating their own life. So it's really interesting. So, however, those who are in the corporate environment and who are really tired and exhausted and fed up and on that hamster wheel of life and looking to find their slice of happiness, what I see is that they sometimes self-medicate, and it can be with a myriad of different things. It can be with drink, it can be with drugs, it can be with food, it can be with all sorts of different substances. It's really difficult, because they are just wanting to numb the pain, and they're just wanting to hide from their reality. And I know how that feels, because I did it with food. I did it with chocolate. I ate and ate and ate and ate, and I was so tired when I came home from work, and I was so busy. I was on the go all day long, so I didn't have time to stop and have lunch. And then I got home and I was always so hungry that I ate crap. And so in the corporate environment, I was a lot heavier than I am now. Yes, I think when I left the corporate environment and I stuck my head up and I saw what I'd done to myself, it was a real awakening. And part of it was wanting to hide from the world, because I was so unhappy being in that arena where I knew I didn't fit. So I was just like, I was following what society expected me to do, because that's what, society expects us to do things. And so we fall into that trap, and I was one of those people. And knowing that it wasn't my calling, and knowing it's not what I wanted to do, and I just wanted to hide from myself. I wanted to hide that reality. And so when I came out of the corporate environment, I'd spent, even though I had plans, even though I knew I was changing things, even knew I was having I created it so I had some space, and I had about 6 weeks off in between, so that I could just sleep, because I was that exhausted before I really started building my business. even with all of that, I self-medicated with food so much that when I left the corporate environment, I was a size 24 to 26. And it was only when I sort of stepped out of that corporate environment and looked and went, oh my gosh. And I was staying with my sister. She fed me Slimming World meals, and it resonated with me because you could eat. It was about eating the right things. I found, and I started to lose weight really quickly. For me, if I'm honest, food is an addiction like any other, and I handle it one day at a time, and that is my thing. I'm not saying I've got it fixed forever. I'm saying that I'm handling it one day at a time, and that I know that my promise I've made to myself is that I will go be a member of Slimming World, and for the rest of my life, because I know that for me that's the support group that works for me, and I know that that's the plan that works for me, and I know that's the arena that works for me. And a bit like I was saying last week about being in an arena where people understand you, I feel understood there, because everything resonates. And so that's my commitment to my health. And I realised that I was 40, and I can't remember if I was coming up to 40 or just turned 40, but it was that moment of, actually, this isn't about the way I look anymore. This is about my health and my long-term ability to keep smiling and feeling vital from within. So that was my self-medication, and I shifted it and I sorted it, and I found a support group that helped me, that specialised in my particular addiction, and I handled it. But up until that point, I was numbing myself from my current reality, even though I had plans to change it, even though I had things, I was numbing myself from that reality, and it created a downward spiral because it affected my self-worth. I used to hide from people. You may struggle to believe this, but at one point my nickname was Invisible Kate, because I used to go to places but hide in the shadows so that people didn't see me. And so, yeah, it might come as a shock, but that was one of my nicknames. And actually, that was about the fact that the person who created that was so busy being drawn to the bright, shiny people in the middle of the group that they didn't look around. And so I do my best when I'm in groups to look around at the people on the edges and make an effort to go and talk to them, because I was one of them. I don't always get it right. I'm not always perfect at it, but I try to make an effort to do that. And sometimes I get it right and sometimes I get it wrong, but that's just me, because I used to be that person. But anyway, so if you are in a position where you are self-medicating, you are not alone. There are people around you who can help, and it's a downward spiral, because it affects, my experience was, it affected my self-worth, it affected my health, it affected my vitality, it affected my relationships, because I was so much heavier, I was tired, I was even more tired all the time, because carrying an extra few stone in weight is a lot to carry around. If you just pick up shopping bags, you can feel that. So, I was. And so what I'm wanting to share with you today is that you aren't alone if you're self-medicating, whether it be with chocolate, whether it be with food, whether it be with alcohol, whether it be with drugs, whatever it might be, you are not alone. And to know that there is a different way, and it's when you're ready. And again, this might not speak to everyone. I mean, I know people that have to have that glass of wine when they get in from work, because their work has been so shit and awful that they have to have that glass of wine, or they have to have that cake, or they have to have this, or they have to have that. And I was one of them. And every now and then I'm still, I'm like, oh God, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I've just come through it in a different way, and I'm a bit further along the road, if you like. So know that it doesn't have to be that way, and start thinking about what my experience was when I got to that position. Is when I stopped and stuck my head up about the parapet and looked at with fresh eyes at what was going on in my life and how it was affecting my health, my relationships, how it was affecting me and my vitality, and how it was affecting me from creating my dreams, wishes and goals. That was when I started to really find a different way. So, and all of it came from the fact that I was unhappy in the job that I was in, and I was unhappy in what I was doing, and I was feeling trapped, and I was feeling exhausted, and I was feeling fed up. And actually, by creating a different arena, when I went employed to self-employed, it gave me the breathing space to see what had happened, because I was in the arena that I wanted to be in. And whatever the arena is that you want to be in, I encourage you, if you're self-medicating, to do everything in your power to get into that arena. Because when you are in the arena that you want to be in, all those excuses just fall away naturally, and it becomes so much easier to handle that. So much easier to handle that. And you have fresh eyes, because when you're in the arena that you want to be in, you have fresh eyes. You really do. And that's what happened to me. That was my truth. And I see it happen to many, many people when they make the leap from where they are feeling trapped to where they actually want to be, whatever it might be, whether it may be a different job, whether it might be a different relationship, whatever it might be, or employed to self-employed as it was in my case. But that's when I really started to notice what I was doing to my body. And like I say, I was addicted to food, and I still am addicted to food. I've just chosen to change it to healthy food, and I'm very, in some ways, if you're alcoholic, you can live without alcohol. If you are a drug addict, you can live without drugs. If you're a food addict, you can't live without food. So you have to reframe everything, and that's one of the things that I've learned as I've gone through. And it is one day at a time. I completely get that. And that's, and it's so much easier when I'm happy. And I can do what I want and be what I want and shine from within and really help others achieve their dreams, wishes and goals, and help others do what it is that they want to be doing. Whatever it is, there is a different way. Whatever your heart is calling you, there is a different way. So, there's a two-pronged thing there. Know that where you're at isn't where you need to be. Look at the three-pronged way, and just take a moment to rise above the fuzz and see what you're doing to your body, and see what you're doing to your mind, and see what you're doing to your relationships, and just have clarity about it. And if you've got clarity about it and you continue on, it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice, and I'm not here to say you must. I'm here to just invite you to look at things in a different way and have a change of perspective around it. And if it's all stemming from the fact that you're feeling as if you're in the wrong arena, change your arena. Follow your dreams. Follow your wishes. And if you're not sure how to follow your dreams, your wishes, your goals, if you're not sure how to create, to change your arena to the arena that you want and crave from within, then please contact me, because I really have been there. And I really, really would love to help you, because it's my calling. It's my calling to help others achieve their happiness. It's what I'm here to do. So I'm so honoured when people choose me to help them. So if that's resonating with you, please contact me on kate@mynaturalhappiness.com. I'm creator of the Seeds of Change program to help you go from hamster to happiness. Know that where you're at now isn't where you have to be. With so much love. Have the most amazing day. Take care. With a massive hug too.